And good morning. Welcome to the Isn't It Time Facebook Live show today. Hi, I'm Sally Thibault. Today we're talking about success habits, how you can maintain your energy, your vitality, your productivity, and your inner well-being when you're really time poor. And hello to everybody and welcome to the very first day of spring. And it certainly has hit here on the Gold Coast so beautifully this morning. When I walked, it was actually about 15 degrees, I think. And you can certainly feel it in the air, although there's quite a bit of dust around where we are. I hope wherever you are, it's lovely. And I'm about to jump on a plane this afternoon and head to Melbourne. So I have my my bags packed, my coat ready, my boots out. I think I've worn my boots once this winter up here. So I'm going to be looking forward to that. So when you hop on this morning, just say hi, and I'd love to see you. Good morning, Donna. Yeah, we're very windy today. It's actually stopped here. It was windy when I walked this morning, and very dusty. Can't quite see the sun this morning. It's hidden behind some dust. So let's hope that I shall intend and tap when I'm on the plane this afternoon. Don't like bumpy flights very much at all. I'm okay now. That used to be terrible, but I am okay now. Rightio. So today we're actually talking about habits, success habits. And I wanted to share, you're into Toowoomba, Debbie. Ooh, that'd be cold. Yeah, what's lovely here on the... Actually, Donna, as I'm saying that, the wind's absolutely stopped here. It's absolutely still. Isn't that the funniest thing? Morning, Elle. Lovely to have you here. Hope where you are, it's not too cold. All right, we're going to talk about success habits. Now, the thing that, the Aristotle quote is, the thing that you repeatedly do leads to excellence. At this time of year, what happens is that, as it starts to get a bit brighter, I know in the southern states it's probably hard to believe, but the spring is coming. There's a tendency to want to jump on board and do a whole heap of things to change up the way you're doing. You may be kind of hibernating a bit in the wintertime. And, it's like spring's here, we're going to do all, I'm hearing all these challenges and, these 8-week programs. And, I've been involved in the, you're on the coast. Oh, well, you're experiencing the lovely weather, Elle. And morning, Jen. Lovely to see you. There's a challenge, I've been involved in the fitness industry for a very long time. Well into 3 decades, and I have seen it all. Every new diet, every new way of doing things, every new exercise routine, you name it, I've seen it. And what's interesting enough, it's a cycle. It actually goes on a cycle, and people get all excited about this new way of eating. It's all, this is the way to do it, and it's like, well, you know what? I've heard that before. I think if I've mentioned on a show here before, the 1970s was all about the Pritikin diet. My parents were on that because my father had high cholesterol, and it was just very difficult. There was no fat at all. Like, he cut the fat off everything and dry. Oh, it was terrible. And then in the 80s, we swung back the other way, and it was all about the Atkins diet, which is not unlike what they're talking about keto these days, which is high fat, lots of protein. And then in the 80s, because of that kind of high fat era didn't kind of work, people went a little bit extreme on it. We went into kind of the 80s, it was all about low fat. And if any of you remember the days of the fitness industry back in those days, it was just low fat. We had low fat cottage cheese, we had low fat yogurts, we had, oh my goodness, I used to teach 4 aerobic classes a day and do weights, and I would be, yeah, exactly, Donna. And I would be, do 4 aerobic classes a day, doing weights, running, and I'd, be having rice cakes with cottage cheese. I mean, we all did. That was what we did in those days in the fitness industry. And of course, then, because to get food to taste nice, they put sugar in it. And so it was all about, so then in the late 80s, it all became about watching our sugar intake. Now, that's still part of where we're going now, because there's still a lot of sugar in it, but it all became about sugar. And now, of course, it's gone back paleo and keto, which is great if that's a style that works for you. Morning, Sandy. Lovely to have you here. If that works for you, to me, it's about balance. It always has been, never been any different. That kind of Mediterranean style where it's, good quality vegetables and fruits, free-range organic proteins such as meat, chicken, and fish, wild-caught fish if possible, balance in the carbohydrate, plenty of water, and good quality fats. To me, that's a sustainable way that you can maintain a healthy way of living, but it's very much adapting to you. So today I'm going to share what we do in our home and what I've discovered works for me. And, you can kind of take this on board and think, yeah, that's okay, but it's not going to work for me. Whatever works for you is fine. But the question to ask all the time is, can I do this for the rest of my life? Whatever I'm doing now is a healthy way of living. Can I do this for the rest of my life? And of course, that's what the 2 and 20 principle is all about. It's about putting into place simple habits. So I'm going to share with you today the 4 pillars of fitness and health, not just what you eat, not just what you exercise, but everything else as well. And this is what I do every morning. And, when I put a poll in my Facebook group this week and asked people why they found it difficult to stick to healthy habits or success habits, number one issue was time. I think that everybody is time poor at the moment. We are just overwhelmed. Morning, Louise. Yeah, that's right, Donna. So everything is about, and the other thing is I'm looking at life now from my perspective. I want to be able to do what I'm doing now into my 80s and 90s and maybe beyond. I fully intend that I'll live beyond 100. And so everything that I'm doing now is about, okay, what am I going to do? What can I do now for the next 20 or 30 years? I've had to repair in my life a lot of damage that I did to my body. This crazy diets. Remember the Israeli diet? Do you remember that? Or was it apples for 2 days, cheese for 2 days, eggs for 2 days, and then salad or something? I mean, stupid things. Every time I see a new diet, I think, oh, God, here we go again. But I had to do a lot of repair to damage that I've done to my body. So now what I've done is created a lifestyle program that I do every single day, every single week, that's easy, that fits into my daily routine, that's not a drama, and that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. So, and please feel free to ask any questions. Just pop in the comments box what works for you, what you see working for you, what's not working for you. If you have any challenges, please, we're going to have a really kind of open Facebook Live today. We might even do something later on in a couple of weeks or so. All right, so what I do every morning, first thing is meditation. I will not go anywhere without doing meditation first, and I do 20 minutes. Now, we've shared that on Facebook Live before, and a link so that I personally like Joe Dispenza's 20-minute meditation. It's 20 minutes. He tells you to get up and out of bed. I don't. I stay in bed. I just find it easier. I like it. It just fits. I'm going to be sitting most of the day. I just like. And sometimes, actually, in the summer when the warm months, I actually get up and lie on the floor and just kind of wrap myself in a bit of a blanket. So 20-minute exercise every single morning, that meditation every single morning, that is without fail. And I know the days that I don't do meditation are the days that don't go as well as they should. The second thing I do, the next thing that I do is that I go for my 20-minute HIT walk. And I've shared this before, that's 20 minutes with 2 20-second fast bursts of fast walking or jogging, and I'm still jogging, able to run still. Had some hip issues last couple of months ago, but we've solved those. So that's been great. We get back into that again. When I get home, I'm just 20 push-ups, 20 tricep dips, 20 lunges, 20 squats. I do that twice, and that takes me about 5 or 6 minutes. Which meditation, Louise? It's the Joe Dispenza. It's the actually, I've got it on my phone. What am I talking about? It's the let me get it for you. It is the morning and evening meditation, being defined by a vision of the future instead of a memory of the past. So it's Dr. Joe Dispenza, PNZA, and it's his morning and evening meditations being defined by a vision of the future instead of a memory of the past. Love them. 20 minutes. I don't want to spend any more on that. On the weekends, I will actually do a couple of I might do a 1 hour meditation. I did this morning because I woke up at 4:15. Go figure. So I did his hour long this morning, but normally, and it's just a given. I just do it all the time. So then workout. So that usually has me back here. Usually in the summer, I'm back here by 5:30 because it's warm. But in the winter, I kind of try and get back here about 10 past 6. So then I do that extra 5 minutes. Now, I know when it's cold and wet, it's really difficult to find a place to get outside. But there's a great app that I did use for ages. Yeah, I will, Deb. I just can't type it where I am because I don't have a keyboard on this camera. But I will. Oh, actually, I can actually. No, I'll put it in the comments later. Okay, put it in the comments later. There's a great app that I used last year in the wintertime called the 7-minute workout. And it's a free app I had an iPad. I don't have an iPad anymore. But I had it on my iPad. And it's a series of exercises you do for 30 seconds. And it, with the breaks, I think there's 7 or 12 exercises. And I used to do it twice. And I found that really, really good to do inside when it's cold. Because it's hard to go out. I know what it's like. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, tomorrow morning I'm going to be in Melbourne. I'm not going to want to go for a walk when it's like 5 degrees. 7-minute workout. Yep, it's great. It's really good. It's a good balance of aerobics and also strength. And I wanted to that reminds me of something else. It's really important at our age in life, everybody should be doing, but once you're over the age of 50, you need to be doing strength exercises or resistance exercises. So that's where the push-ups, squats, lunges, tricep dips, I do planks, but you can do some abdominal work. It's really important. We've got to keep that muscle mass going. I have some weights that I'll do some bicep. If I've got a bit of extra time, I'll do some bicep curls. I used to go to gyms all the time. I used to be, I lived my life in gym for the first, until I was about 35, 40. And then I was a member of a gym and I used to go they had a 5:30 class every morning. But I found it wasn't a 5:30 class. I had to be in the car by 10 past 5 to get there for 5:30 for an hour class, and I wasn't home till 7. So it was actually 2 hours for a 1 hour class. And I found that then everything else I wanted to do had to be squished in. So I found it didn't work for me. Now, occasionally I'll think, I'm thinking right now I wouldn't mind doing some Pilates because I'm feeling that I'm sitting a lot and I want some more strength. But then I've got to kind of carve that time in the day. I'm talking about habits you can do every day, and that's what the 2 and 20 principle is all about. So work out, always stretch, always stretch. And then after that, I do my journaling. I do about 5 or 10 minutes of journaling every morning. In my journaling, I do a little bit about the day or what's going on for me. I always write my top intentions out every day using the words I am. So I am whatever I am. I have some music that I play. And the whole idea of having the same music playing while I'm writing the intentions is that my vision board is right near where I'm writing my intentions. So I'm looking at my vision board, I'm writing down, I've got the same music playing. So it's a way of anchoring in for me my intentions by using the music as well. And then, of course, I'll tap. So if there's any tapping that I need to do, whatever's going on, I tend to like to tap just to kind of lock in those intentions. But if there's any thoughts or feelings coming up for me, I'll tap then. That's it. So that's my morning routine. Stewed apples and apricots and rhubarb. Yes. Ooh, yuck. Every morning. Yes, absolutely. So that's it. So that's my routine. My exercise, I try to do 5 days a week, but it's just lately I've wanted to do 6. So I just find that you do need a break. You do need to have a day where you give your body a break. We tend to go for a long walk on a Sunday. We'll go to the markets. We'll go to the beach or wherever we go for a long walk, and then go to the markets and then come home. So that's kind of a bit of a challenge. What we eat weekly. Now, as I've gotten older, and I get very in tune with how food makes me feel, not the other way around. Okay, I don't eat when I'm about a feeling. I get in tune with how food makes me feel. And because I'm very aware now of my body, I'm very aware of food. So there's 3 things for me that I have discovered that cause me to feel not so great. One is gluten, and I sometimes wonder whether it's not the gluten that I'm intolerant of, it's actually the sprays they use on the wheat. But anyway, that's a whole other story. If I have gluten, I feel kind of foggy in my head, and I don't need to feel any foggier than what I already do. So, and I was gluten-free for the entire last week. I was very, very cautious about being gluten-free. And we went out for dinner, beautiful dinner we had took me out for my birthday last week and last Saturday, and they had this bread. Oh my God, she put it on the table in front of me, and I thought, I have to have that bread. I have to have it. Within, I don't know, 20 minutes, I felt uncomfortable. I could feel it. I thought, well, that's silly. I don't want to do that anymore. So gluten is number 1. Number 2 was dairy, and that was a real surprise for me because I love cheese. Love, 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 love. I would be known to sit down and eat an entire wheel of King Island double brie cheese in a sitting. I loved it. And it was one day when I was actually looking at my videos, going through all my videos, previous ones, and I noticed one day, I thought, I look tired in that video. I look so tired. And then the next day, the video was okay. And then a couple of days later, and then it dawned on me, I started to align. It was the nights that I'd had cheese the night before. Then the next day, my face was puffy and I felt, gluggy. And I thought, wow. So I took myself off dairy. And that's been an enormous change for me. Enormous. Yeah, exactly, Donna. I know. It's like fish and chips, isn't it? That's what we go, I feel like fish and chips. And it's always a good idea at the time because afterwards you just feel, blech. But it's a good idea at the time, those lovely chips. So dairy was one. So that was a big, big aha for me, which is really interesting because my daughters have been saying that they starting to react to it. So it's interesting. You wonder where genetics comes in. And then the third one, of course, is sugar. I'm not good with sugar. If I have sugar at all, I start to shake. It's just, no, I'm just not good at it. I don't drink coffee, by the way. So, those are the types of things that I don't think. So dairy, gluten, sugar are the things for me that are absolute no-nos. I do sometimes, though, like a treat. Like we might have, if on a Saturday, kind of like a lemon meringue pie, a cup of tea every now and then in the afternoon, my favorite. But I know how I'm going to feel, and that's okay. But during the week, what we do is tend to eat a lot more protein. We eat a lot of protein. We have some really, we've got a bit of a pattern with our eating. We love cauliflower fried rice. That's one of our favorites. I don't cook, by the way. You all know that, don't you? Very fortunate. I don't cook. Cauliflower fried rice is one of our absolute favorites. With mushrooms and spinach and all the vegetables we've got in the house. That's just an absolute favorite. It's a great things because with cauliflower fried rice, you can cook it up the next day. It's ready for you. Another one we absolutely love doing is we have wild caught fish. Well, that's true, Sandy, actually, because sometimes you do need the carbohydrate. I'm going to talk a little bit in a minute about intermittent fasting, but Donna, absolutely. It's so good. I saw a great meme the other day said, if cauliflower can be a pizza base, then I can do anything. How funny that we've had all these foods for ages. Yeah, cauliflower fried rice, great. And what was I talking about? So cauliflower fried rice. We have one night a week we do seafood. We've got a beautiful seafood vendor comes to our car park just near us with wild caught fish. We have that once a week. One of our favorite meals is actually baked potatoes I'll usually have a sweet potato. Jerry has a normal potato. We bake it in the oven, open it up, and we'll put on there kind of leftovers, whatever we've had left over from, maybe a bit of cauliflower fried rice. We might have done, one of the things we love to do is a gluten-free, what's it called? Gluten-free gnocchi. See what I mean? I don't need any more fogginess. Gluten-free gnocchi, and we'll have some sauce left over from that perhaps, and that goes on. That's one of our favourite meals, with using the potato as a base. Cauliflower pizza bases. Yeah. They're really good, aren't they? I use nutritional yeast a lot now, that kind of takes the place a little bit of cheese. I put nutritional yeast if we're having gnocchi. We'll do a gluten-free gnocchi. We'll make, one of my favorite toppings with that is a coconut milk with garlic and onion, spinach, mushroom, and some smoked salmon thrown in, and mix that in the gnocchi. And I put nutritional yeast on top of that and some basils, just divine and delicious. And Jerry made a lovely pesto this week, which was really, really nice. Another thing that we've found, vegetarian, because we're vegetarians mostly, flexitarians, we fish, but it is in Coles now. They have a meat substitute called corn, Quron, corn, and it's made from mushroom, and it takes the place of meat. We use that, and we get the rice paper wraps, from for rolling spring rolls. We get the rice paper wraps, and we use that. One night a week we make that with corn and salad and avocado. I love. There's a fabulous dip at Coles, smoked trout dip, that's gluten-free and dairy-free, and that's divine. And I also want to share with you now, I don't make any money out of this, but I've shown this a couple of times. I hope you can see it. Where is it? Round the other way. All right. This is a Nutra-Organics hemp protein. I love it. We usually have this for breakfast, but intermittent fasting days is what I come out of the fast on. This is a berry one, and it's got collagen in it. That's why I like it. So it's a berry one. It's beautiful. I make my own almond milk. So I make my own almond milk. Yeah. It's true, isn't it, Elle? Absolutely. It's just amazing how good you feel in clarity, energy. So easy. I know, right? It's so easy. That's the thing. It's not that hard. We can find substitutes. If you tried to do this 20 years ago, you'd have had no substitutes. There's some really good gluten-free bread on the market. I think it's Abbott's. It's a thing. Occasionally I'll have that if we're having eggs on toast on a Sunday. But yeah, that's the Nutra-Organics. You can get it online, and you can also. We get it at our health food shop. It's expensive. It's $50. But I have that in the morning coming out of, if I'm fasting, I'm doing intermittent fasting a couple of days a week. I'm sort of stretching a little bit more now to 3, maybe 4 times a week, only because with intermittent fasting, I'm feeling so much better. I feel alive. It's amazing. When you should always end a fast with a protein, and so I use that. So we make almond milk, that hemp protein. I put some cacao in it, which is yummy. Yeah, it was hard back then. Absolutely, Donna. Absolutely. This is yummy. So you remember the Cocoa Pops thing? It's just like a chocolate milkshake, only crunchy. Do you remember that ad? Well, when I'm making my smoothie with cacao and this hemp protein, a banana I'll throw in, and sometimes I'll use some rice malt syrup. Just tastes like a chocolate milkshake. Absolutely beautiful. So just about the intermittent fasting, I do that at least twice a week, usually on a Monday and a Thursday, but this lasts a little while because I wanted to drop just a few little kilos because I bought a new dress that I want to wear. I've been doing it 4 times, and I actually feel really good. If you're doing intermittent fasting, and I do the 16-8, so I count 16 hours from the last time I ate at night, is to make sure you're drinking tons of water and herb tea or black coffee if you drink coffee while you're on the fast. So I find a lot of people doing when they're doing intermittent fasting is they're not drinking enough water. You have to drink water, and I have a little on my diary each day on my to-do list. I put a little markers down, and for say 6 lines, and then cross it out as I go. And make sure I've drunk my 6 bottles of water, and I usually drink about 4 herb teas. So I'm getting plenty of fluid. Yeah, I do the fast, Donna. So I do a 16-8. So if we have dinner and we finish eating, say at 7, I'll count 16 hours till I eat again. Very important on the intermittent fasting diet that when you have the 8-hour window of eating, that you are eating well. You're staying within the parameters of good eating. I find a lot of people do the 16-8 and think, oh God, I can eat anything I like in 8 hours. It doesn't work like that, you know. That doesn't work. It's still calories in, calories out. It's just that I find, you know, you remember how we used to push breakfast? We used to push breakfast as being kind of, that's the begin. And I never actually really liked breakfast. Actually, that's why I started drinking smoothies to begin with, because I could never eat breakfast. And of course, I always worked out and did my stuff. It was always a couple of hours before I sat down. But you remember, I used to make the kids eat breakfast. And my daughter, my youngest daughter, said to me the other day, she said, I've never liked it, Mum. And I feel so much better. Isn't that interesting? You know, sometimes we take on what people tell us, and we don't feel good. We do it because they tell us. Interesting stuff. All right, so let's go on to other things. Running shoes are always first thing to pack wherever I travel. Always a spot in my suitcase. If ever I'm traveling, the running shoes go in first. And the reason why is because it encourages me to work out when they go. Is the 8 hours limit to a certain number of calories? It depends. Whatever your calorie intake is, depends what you want, really. I think go with what you feel, Donna. I don't count calories. So I just listen to what my body wants. So for instance, how I usually come out of a fast is I'll have the hemp protein, and then about an hour later I'll have an apple, and then a couple of hours later before dinner I might have some rice crackers with that smoked trout dip, and then we'll have dinner. But bear in mind, our dinners are usually wheat-free, dairy-free, gluten-free. You know, we're kind of following that. So we eat a lot of vegetables, not so much fruit, at least one, maybe, well, apple and banana most days, so it's 2 pieces of fruit, but we eat a lot of vegetables. So I don't count calories, but if I'm hungry during that 8 hours, I will eat. But I make sure it's predominantly, you know, gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free. It's good intake of fruits and vegetables, you know, so those are the things you naturally head for. If you're coming out of that and going into, say, processed foods, so there's no point. There's no point in doing that. So pretty hard to, I'd say, I don't actually know what calorie intake. I think it's 1,200 to 1,800 or something like that. I don't know. If somebody here might know. I don't know. You can Google it while you're talking to me. I have no idea. I just eat because when I'm hungry, and stop eating when I'm full. Just the way it is. Okay. How do I find the motivation to work out even on the coldest mornings? Now, I've got to tell you about this. You know, the thing is that it's a habit. Habits take 66 days to implement. You have to do something for 66 days before it becomes a habit. So this morning when I woke up at 4:15, I had no intention of going for a walk today because I've actually worked out every day this week. But I was awake, I'd done my meditation, it was warm, and I was going out the door. Yeah. As long as you're not eating processed foods, Donna, and doing the intermittent fasting. The thing you've got to watch, that I'm jumping all over the place a bit, but the thing you've got to watch with intermittent fasting is that you're not eating something sweet before you go to bed. That's a key. The blood sugar level will spike and then drop. And then if you're not eating, you may go a bit, your blood sugar level drops, you might get a bit shaky, uncomfortable, aggravated. So just make sure you're not eating something sweet before you go to bed. So blood sugar levels. That may also be the reason for anybody that wakes up about 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, is because of the blood sugar levels dropping and peaking and dropping. And what happens at 2 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning, if you've had something sweet around about, say, 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, the way the body monitors blood sugar levels to increase cortisol. And of course, we all know what that does. So the cortisol wakes you up because you start worrying about things. So if you're waking up in the middle of the night, just check that you're not eating too much sugar before you go to bed. Motivation to work out, it's just a habit now. Just a habit. It's because I've done it so long, 66 days. And, you know, I started the 2 and 20 principle for me back in, when was it? November last year. It's just a habit. So even in the cold winter, I got through this winter in the cold. Sometimes it was a 3-jacket morning and a puffer jacket, I tell you, and gloves and a hat. But it's just a habit now. And this was actually the first winter I went through where I did this every day. So I'm really excited about that. The best inexpensive skincare of your, I'm going to divert because I'm doing something. I don't know if I'm allowed to, but anyway, I've been using the doTERRA skincare products for ages, and I just love them. We're very careful about what we put in skin, and I just discovered recently that these two ones. One's geranium, and the other one's frankincense. I actually put a drop just around my eyes in the morning, and I'm noticing that these wrinkles. I've got plenty of wrinkles around my eyes because I laugh a lot, and of course, laying the sun when I was a child without, with coconut oil. So I smile a lot. So I've got wrinkles, and I found that these help make them a bit softer. So if just by popping a drop of essential oils, just beautiful. Champagne is always a part of my weekly diet, always will be. I enjoy a glass of good champagne at the end of the week or two, and I find for me that's one of the things that I enjoy. I drink wine. Most nights I drink wine. We fill up a big wine glass, mostly with ice, put about a quarter of a glass of wine in, and top it up with soda water right to the very top. So I've got about that much wine and about that much soda water. Not that much, but that much soda water. So that, when we're having a glass of wine during the week, that's how we drink our wine. So we're not drinking a full glass of wine. The geranium lasts forever. It does. It's a bit hard to get used to the smell. Love those two oils. Aren't they beautiful? Oh, and just pop a little, one drop around the eyes. Oh, it stings a little, but just feels really good. And so champagne, that's my thing. That's my way of celebrating the end of the week is my champagne. And besides, as I said to heaps of my friends, I meditate, I tap, I work out, I eat well, dairy-free, gluten-free, blah, 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 blah. If I stop drinking wine, I wouldn't have any friends. So I'm going to keep having my friends. I want to have my friends. And then the final one is I am extremely cautious of the words I say and the people I hang out with. And if it's anything about habit, that's the one thing that I've learned, is extremely cautious about the words I use. I'm catching myself and others all the time about the words we're using. And yeah, thanks, Donna. And about the words we're using and the people I'm hanging around. To me, I have you, Sandy. That's right. You can share a soda water together. That very careful about because that's, to me, is the biggest drain of our energy, is what we tell ourselves, what we say about ourselves, what we say about other people, and who we hang around with. All right, and quickly, so we've done meditation, tapping down, we've done exercise and diet, we've done productivity. Yes, productivity. I schedule 2 hours at least twice a week of productive work. Everything's off. And this last probably 4 weeks, I've had to find time in my diaries. It's turned out it's worked out really well because I'm doing a big presentation next week. I'm going to tell you about this in a minute on women in leadership, and to do the research and get ready for this and create a new program. Yeah. People and language are so important. Absolutely, Donna. Absolutely. The words I use to catch myself a little too late. Yeah. So, when that happens, Sandy, go straight to forgiveness. Okay, I caught it. I forgive myself. I forgive myself for doing that. This is about that whole self-love thing, going back. So in order to get ready for this big presentation I'm doing next week, and we're launching a new program next week, I'm going to be sharing that next week on the Facebook Live. I've had to really be quite focused. I listened to a great podcast this week, and they were talking about comparison. Is that so many of us now are caught up in comparison because we're watching everybody else on social media. And it's now becoming a bit of a habit where we go straight to, I've got an idea, I'm going to go straight to see who, is anybody else doing it. Okay, have a great, thank you, Donna. Yeah, we're going to finish up really quickly now. Thanks for being on today. And we, I've had to stay really focused this week on preparing this program because I don't want to see what everybody else is doing. So those 2 hours are really important to me to shut everything off. So I just have quiet time. So I put on my essential oils, put on some music and some great focus music, and just ensure that I have at least 2 hours twice a week, or at least for me, my case this week has been 2 hours 4 times a week, which has been brilliant, able to get this program out, of quiet time to think. If you're stuck on a thing, I had a walking meeting yesterday with somebody that's going to help me with this new program, and we went for a walk on the beach. And it was wonderful. We were just disconnected from everything. We walked along the beach, sat down, had a cup of tea, and it was really interesting, the ideas that flowed because of it. So, and I actually did a couple of radio spots this week on my life coaching program, talking about walking. Research is showing if you're stuck in creativity and you can't come up with a solution, a walk anywhere from 5 to 16 minutes, and it doesn't matter where you walk, which was interesting. You don't have to be outside. You can walk on a treadmill. You can be in an office and go for a walk up and down the stairs, or just walk. Increases your creative output by up to 60%. So those productive times, to find time for yourself for 2 hours, at least once a week, twice if you can, where you can just plan out your business, plan out your life, is so critically important. Brings me another thing. Sunday nights are very important for us. Every Sunday night, sit down and decide how I'm going to achieve my goals, and carve out a bit of time Sunday night to look at, okay, where am I going this week? All right. Again, so just in case you haven't got it, I'll just show this one. The 2 and 20 principle. You can head to my website and download it. You'll see it right there. It is a guide for people who are time poor to create habits that really work. And I found it is absolutely brilliant. Changing over the irrigation. Yeah, absolutely. So any of that kind of physical activity where you just getting the blood flow, getting away from your desk, away from the environment to just think is just great. All right, we are well over time now. So keep asking any questions, any comments you have, any way that you can fit that into your current lifestyle. Let me know. Head to the website. You'll see the 2 and 20 principle. If you have not downloaded it is the 1st of September. 1st of September. Wow. September, October, November, December. 4 months to go. In fact, in my journal, I think we've got 109 days, I wrote down the other day, till we head off to Vancouver on the 21st. So, I'm just looking every day, okay, am I going to achieve these goals that I want in 2018? I've only got 109 days to do it before I go away. How much time have you got to do this before Christmas comes? It's going to come really quickly. This year has just, as you know, as we say every year, so really intentional. September, great time this weekend. Sit down, review where you're heading, your intentions. What are you going to do? What are you waiting for? What are you going to do? All right. We're going to tap a little bit, just a little bit before I finish. Next week's Facebook Live is all about a brand new program that I'm very excited to launch. If you are in leadership in any way, in any organization, or you are wanting to step into your authentic leadership, I will be sharing that next week. We'll be talking about feminine leadership, how power it is, the things we've got to overcome, and also, thanks, Elle, things we've got to overcome in order to increase the power of feminine leadership, and if not for us, for the following generation, our sons and our daughters. Extremely important. Interestingly enough, some stats that I came across that while we think we're on the right track with gender parity, it's actually going to take 200. I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Is everything working? Even though, what have I just touched? That's the microphone. Oh, please don't. Right, hold on. Wait, let's just see if it's this. Wait. Okay, can you hear me now? Just let me know if you can hear me. Yay, is that it? It's back? Must be the microphone. Yay, okay, cool. Back. Just give me a thumbs up, a heart, whatever. Let me know before I go into the tapping. Perfect. Okay, cool. All right. Let's tap on finding the motivation. Let's go. Yeah, it's my microphone. Damn it. Time for a new microphone. All right, here we go. Even though sometimes I can't find the motivation, I'm not sure what it is. I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Even though I just don't have time. It's a fact. I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Even though I struggle to find the motivation to achieve what I want to achieve. I deeply and completely, thanks Elle, accept myself and how I feel. Here we go. I struggle to find the motivation. I never have time. I struggle with procrastination. I never have time. I struggle with motivation. I never have time. There's so much to do. Sometimes it overwhelms me. Even though I want to exercise and work out, I sometimes struggle to find the motivation. Even though I want to do all the things I want to do, I find it easier to procrastinate. I never have enough time. I can never find the time. I never have enough time. It's easier to procrastinate. Take a deep breath and let it go. Now, what I'd like you to do is this week, when you're writing down your intentions for the next 3 to 4 months, is to ask yourself, what can I swap out? Am I using no time, lack of time, as an excuse? And why? And the last question is, why do I not value myself enough? Because when you put yourself first, when you carve out spots in your day to look after yourself, the rest of your life runs so much easier. So I want to pull out the I am statements today. We won't tap because we're running out of time. Let's just go to I am worthy. I am important. I am strong and powerful. And I choose to put myself first. Because knowing when you do that, that is exactly what's going to happen. That you will get fitter and stronger and have more clarity in your life and more energy, and everything in your home and your family just runs so much better. So I challenge you for this month of September, put yourself first. Put yourself first. Your body, your health. This is one thing. We don't get this back again. Well, maybe in a different form, but this particular body. All right, my lovelies, it's time for me to finish. Have a wonderful day. I look so forward to next week and sharing the brand new program and ahas, and I'm just very, very excited about this, and I will be sharing all the details out in the next week. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for being on the show, and happy Father's Day to all the husbands and dads out there, and we'll see you this time next week. Bye for now.